Hi Year 5, it's Mr Worthington here again, ready to introduce today, Wednesday the 3rd of March is home learning. In English today, we'll be building on what you started yesterday. So yesterday you should have planned your own information text based on a Mediterranean diet. So we asked you to think carefully about the features that you will need to include in your information text, and most importantly, the key information and research that you will be writing about. Hopefully that went really well. Well, today we'd like you to have a go at drafting your own information text, and we'd like you to draft it in the form of a leaflet. So we've posted a template for you online, which you can have a go at filling in, or alternatively, Year 5, if you'd prefer, you can make your own leaflet from scratch. Don't forget to include in your information text the key health benefits of the different parts of the Mediterranean diet. We can't wait to read them, Year 5. In maths today, we'll be looking at word problems, and we'll be looking at word problems involving all 4 operations. So we've posted a link to a video explaining the key words and terminology to look out for that give you clues as to whether the question is asking you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Hopefully you'll remember some of the key vocabulary from last time we looked at this together in school. And I'll just go through an example of each of the different types of method you might have. So for example, you might be asked how many altogether there are if 21,903 and 7,856. That's an add question. So the easiest way to solve that Year 5 will be to use your column addition. And as always, whenever we're using the column method, we start in the ones column. And you'll begin, 3 ones add 6 ones is 9 ones. Then we'll move on to our tens. 0 tens add 5 tens is 5 tens. Then into our hundreds, 9 hundreds add 8 hundreds, 9 and 8 is 17. So I'll put the 17 in my hundreds column, and I'll carry the 1 over into my thousands column. Then I do the same for the thousands. 1,000 add 7,000 add 1,000 is 9,000. I always like to cross off the one that I've carried Year 5 to make sure that I don't miss it out. And then finally my 10,000s, I've got 2 10,000s, so the answer is 29,759. Moving on to subtraction. So you might be asked to find the difference between 2 numbers, or you might be asked to find how many is left, or if one is more than the other, how much more than is it? These are some of the key terms to look out for. And so, for example, 13,003 take away 6,954. Again, the column method is probably the best way to solve this. And if we start in our ones, as always, 3 ones take away 4 ones. Now, remember Year 5, if the number on the bottom is larger than the number on the top in the column method, and subtraction, you cannot do it, and you need to go next door and exchange. Now, unfortunately, in this example, next door there is 0. So I'll go next door again, and there's still 0. And as I move up my place value columns, eventually I get to my thousands, and this has 3. Now, I will exchange this and turn it into a 2, and I've got 1,000. I cannot, Year 5, take this straight to the 3, which is what I really want to do. I've got to work my way back through the columns. So I'll put my 1,000 in my hundreds column to create 10 hundreds, because remember 10 hundreds are equivalent to 1,000. Then I can exchange, and that becomes 9, and take my 1 into my tens. 10 tens, remember, is 100. Now I can finally exchange and create 9 tens, and take my 1 in front of my 3 and my 1s to create 13. 13 take away 4 is of course 9. 9 take away 5 in my tens column is 4 tens. 900s take away 900s is 0. And 2,000 take away 6,000 I cannot do. So I need to exchange again from my 10,000s. Now I have 12,000 take away 6,000, which is of course 6,000. Moving on to multiplication, you might be asked to find the total or the product of 2 numbers, for example. So, in which case, you will times. Here I've chosen a particularly difficult one to revisit, which is our 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. So 38 times 43. I'm going to keep the 38 the same. I'm not going to change that, but I'm going to partition and break up my 43 to make it easier for myself. I'm going to start with my ones, and I'm going to do 38 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Put my 4 in and carry my 2 over into my tens. 3 tens times 3, so 30 times 3 is 90. Remember, this is in the tens column. 3 times 3 is 9. Add the 2 I carried earlier is 11. So 38 times 3 is 114. And then I'm going to do 38 times 40. So all I've done, year 5, is break up 43 into 40 and 3. That's the distributive law that we looked at on Monday. And remember, when I'm multiplying by a 10 using this formal written method, to always put a 0 in as the placeholder. That makes everything in my number 10 times bigger. So now I can simply do 4 times 8 is 32. And notice that the 2 is in the tens and the 3 is in the hundreds, because it's not 4 times 8, it's actually 40 times 8, which is 320. And then 3 times 4 is 12, don't forget to add the 3, is 15, and notice that's in the hundreds and the thousands, because it's not 3 times 4, it's 30 times 40, okay? And what I must finally remember to do is add these up to find the total. Simple column addition. 4 add 0 is 4, 1 add 2 is 3, 1 add 5 is 6, and in my thousands I've just got 1. So the answer to 38 times 43 is 1,634. Finally, moving on to a division, you might be asked if a group share a certain amount, or you might be asked how much they get each. And if you see this type of language, then you know that it's a division question. So for example, £1,407 is shared between 3 people. That means I will have to divide the number 1,407 by 3. So we'll use the bus stop method for this. Remember, my divisor goes on the outside. That's the number I'm dividing by. My dividend goes on the inside. That's the number I'm dividing. So, the way the bus stop works, we start, how many 3's go into 1? 1 divided by 3 is 0. And I carry that 1 over into the next column. How many 3's go into 14? That would be 4 3's, which are 12. I've got 14, so I've got a remainder of 2. How many 3's go into 20? It is, of course, 6. 6 3's are 18. And again, I've got a remainder of 2 because I've got 20. How many 3's go into 27? It is, of course, 9. So in this example, they would get £469 each. This afternoon, Year 5, it's an RE focus. And we'd like you to look at how Our Lady, Mary, Mother Mary, can help to untangle the knots of sin. So Pope Francis said, not so long ago, that when we disobey our parents or do something wrong, it creates a little knot of sin. And he also gave us some advice on how we can untangle these knots, how we can make it right again. We've posted a text online for you to read through, which reflects on what Pope Francis says and also the advice he gave us. Can you offer your own advice to somebody else on how they can untangle their knots? We look forward to reading your great advice, Year 5. Not long now, just a few more days until we greet you all back. Take care, and don't forget to keep going on the Times Tables Rock Stars. That's all from me. I'll post another one of these tomorrow.